Second quarter GDP is out tomorrow. We are expecting a big number, but this morning's economic data may suggest otherwise. Steve Leisman here with the rapid update on the economy. Steve.
It's the number one everyone's talking about. The president's talking about it. The Treasury Secretary's talking about it. The president, in fact, just saying that there's a lot of predictions out there, including some with a 5 on it. That is correct, actually. Let's look at the median of 12 economists, second quarter tracking. We have a median of 4.1%, but the range is 3.8 to 5.2%. And look at that third quarter forecast, which should be interesting to you because not only do we get an outsized number in the second quarter, but we hold on to a bunch of it for the third quarter with an oversized number there, too. If you think about trend being 2%, now 3.1, the estimate right now is that we hold on to it. And here are those estimates. Barclays has the highest number. We had some data this morning. Talk about that in a second, but they did not change, 5.2%. Amherst, Pierpont, and Morgan Stanley at 4.7%. Moody's, which does the forecast for us, along with Bank of America and Goldman at 4%. And Atlanta Fed came down a lot. They were at 4.5%, but because of this morning's trade number, they came down. Deutsche Bank, MUFG, they're at 3.8%. Over at Pantheon, they say the advanced inventory numbers for June were weaker than we expected, with both retail and wholesale inventories unchanged. This means the GDP growth for the quarter is now less likely to have reached 5%, but still pretty good. There are some one-time items in here. Let's talk about those. Bounce back from that 2% number in the first quarter. Some tax cut effects, those could be permanent, but also some stockpiling, some imports, some exports ahead of the GDP, ahead of the tariffs that were slapped on, and that could have helped inventories. Guys, I think there's a lot more on the line than is maybe answerable by the data.
Quarter by quarter,
yeah.
Where have we been tracking over the past 12 months?
About
3?
No, around 3%. Actually, tomorrow's number is needed to get it up to 3. We've been just under 3 over the 4 quarters. And that's a really good question, Tyler, because all the work I've done shows the best way to know what it's going to say this is about the tax cuts, and the Democrats will say, no, these are temporary one-time items. I promise you the truth is exactly in the middle.
So you're talking about Q2. What are the estimates coming in for Q3 and Q4?
Well, the average of our estimates right now are 3.1%. The overall thing is we can actually do 3% this year. But the question you have to ask yourself is how much of that is all the additional spending from the government? How much of that is sort of distortions from the tariffs? I think the story is that if the administration is right, the best it can do is somewhere between 0.5 point to an extra percentage point in terms of uplifting into a permanent trend of growth towards 2.5–3%. That would be a huge success.
All right, Steve, thank you.
Pleasure.